Ridiculously expensive items that XXXTentacion passed on to his family.
I'm actually gonna get the more stuff.
It's more than fine. The big electronic stuff, like I talked to John.
Yeah, I got them 5 TVs and 10 PS4s.
Like
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. The goal of many rappers in the world today is to go and make enough money to just have about everything you could ever ask for, and more. Sadly, for the rapper known as XXXTentacion, he wasn't able to fully live his life. Though because of his success, he was then able to pass on certain things. So be sure to like the video and watch the entire video to enter the giveaway. Number 7. What happened to X?
His life. They just held a moment of silence, but they've been here listening to his music, praying, and lighting candles in his memory.
X was one of the true young rappers of the rap world. He had many hit songs and was winning over many fans with his unique style and use of lyrics and music. But in 2018, that truly came to an end. This occurred last year in June when X was out and about in Florida. He went to a motorcycle shop and came out of the dealership in a BMW, when then he was suddenly followed by a dark SUV. This led to the events that we all know the results of. Though the police and an ambulance made it to him, he passed away in the hospital hours later. A statement was then given about the events of the day and the loss of X. On June 18, 2018, Desayon Freud, known worldly as XXXTentacion, tragically passed away in Deerfield, Florida. The statement begins, "In deference of his family, friends, and loved ones, and in the light of further investigation, we ask their privacy is respected at this time. X touched the lives of millions around the globe and will forever reside in the hearts of countless fans who listened to his music, attended his concerts, and felt the glow of his uncontainable, undeniable, and unique spirit."
X spread nothing but positivity. Nothing but positivity. Always called me on the phone, "Danny, are you okay?"
The loss of X was a shock to everyone because of just how sudden it was. No one was currently in beef with X, and yet his life was taken from him from a random robbery. It just didn't seem real, but it was, and the fallout from it was felt for many months and for many more to come.
What I just heard was that he's passed.
Thankfully, the men responsible for the event were caught and convicted. Number 6. His music.
Lil Wayne, but I was always into like different music. I think I made that clear with like the music I distribute.
When you're a musician, there's a big reason you're asked to make as many songs as possible, and more accurately, try to have hit songs. Because the more times it's used, the more money you make from the royalties. Over the course of his short career, X had a variety of hit singles, including ones like Sad, Changes, and Moonlight, all of which hit the Billboard Top 20 by the time they were done. So as long as these songs and more keep on getting played, and they likely will in the honor of X, his estate and family will continue to get the money for the royalty deals. It won't be a lot per se, but even the smallest amounts can help a family at times. And it'll be a symbol that X is still helping them even though he's not truly around anymore. This is only boosted by the fact that X was quite savvy with how he handled his music business deals, ensuring him a bigger piece of the pie by staying independent. Every bit of music that you hear that X has recorded or put out, he controls. X's entertainment lawyer, Bob Celestin, told Billboard in a recent interview, he's just done distribution deals with these various companies, so he controls, or his estate will control, all the master recordings. For the record, that's a huge deal, because having the master record ensures that you have control of how it's played and when, as well as getting more money from it. Taylor Swift had her entire record collection bought out from under her due to her not owning her masters, and she was rightfully devastated because of it. Anyway, quite interestingly, after his passing, his song Sad went back on charts and started at number 52, and then went straight to number 1, which means that he had a chart-topping song in his passing instead of in his life. This is the second time in history that this has happened, with the first time being Notorious Big, with more money, more problems, after his life was taken in 97. Well, back to X. The sales of his music after his passing were quite significant, much more than he ever had for them in his life before that period in time. It's not unlike how certain artists like Van Gogh, Da Vinci, and many others had very little value per se in their lives regarding the art, but once they passed on, everyone realized their value, and thus they're worth now millions. Granted, the family and the estate won't be making millions off of this, but it's still a big help. Not to mention the sales continue to come because X had been making music before his passing, and because of the estate and other collaborators like Lil Pump, X's voice is still being heard on the radio today, which is interesting because you'd think a year after his passing that radios would be done playing him, but they're not. And now the X estate has announced another song called Royalty, which will be soon released. This would be the latest posthumous track, but only one of a certain set. The estate hasn't been throwing them out, but rather slowly trickling them out. This is actually similar to what other rappers' estates have done after their passing, including Tupac, who famously had many albums released after his passing thanks to him making a bunch of tracks and not releasing them. It's true that eventually the support started, the love for X will fade and the music that he made won't be as popular. But for the last year, many people have been paying tribute to him or releasing and re-releasing collaborations with him, thus making it so that X has been all over the Billboard charts. And each time he gets played or used, the estate and family make money. And that's the important part here. So we shouldn't really look into when the trend will stop. We should instead keep on hoping that the trend will continue. Number 5 is donations.
I'm gonna be going to a foster home, and I'm gonna be donating a bunch of clothes, a bunch of PS4s.
Rappers like X honestly get a bad rap at times, and though to be clear, some of it is rightfully deserved because of their lyrics and their influence on the younger generation. They sometimes are profiled as the ones who value money over everything else and don't care about the impact that they're having on others. But ironically, while X most definitely had music that wasn't exactly kid-friendly, he was also one of the few rappers out there who were trying to make the community around him even better. For example, one of his most famous cases was him doing the Helping Hand Challenge, when he went to foster homes and donated musical instruments, video game consoles, and much more to kids in need. X knew what it was like growing up with almost nothing, and so he felt that he needed to help them at least attempt a better and happy life until they can get what they deserve in terms of happiness and family. So while you can't put a price on this per se, it's important to note that this is the kind of value that the family of X can truly take comfort in, because while the money they get from his songs will certainly help, it'll also be a reminder that their family member is gone. But through his donations and charity work, they'll know that there are some people out there right now that truly benefited from X being a kind person, and it's possible that they'll try and continue his work with some of the money that he left behind for them. Sometimes it's the little things that mean a lot for most people, and when it comes to goodwill and happy memories, those sometimes can go farther than anything money can provide. So the family can know that X truly left rich in spirit, among other things, and that his legacy won't fully be one of controversy and uncertainty, that there's some good that he did that cannot be taken away by anyone, no matter what they say about him in his life. And of course, it's possible that one of the kids or teens he helped with his actions will go on to remember what he did and do a similar thing. Of course, only time will tell. Number 4 is home.
Took my mama hat. I'm fresher than a... Yeah. Stole him all.
Arguably one of the most important things that X left behind to his family, which includes a mother and 2 half-siblings, was a mansion that he bought in 2017. It was a 6,000 square foot mansion in Florida that he got for about $1.4 million. The house itself is located in Parkland, Florida, which of course has its own sad history as of late. Anyway, with him gone, the house goes to his mother and siblings, which means that they can live rather comfortably in it, and know that between his own money and the royalties from the songs, they can afford to live in it. Or, should it come to that, they could also sell the house and know that they get enough money to afford a smaller place, and likely pay it off in one shot. The choice is theirs, though you might wonder if they would dare to sell the place at all, because you can bet that X not only showed love to the house itself, but that he decorated it with his own wares and personality. This would have been the first house that X had ever gotten, and he likely saw himself with the notion that he'd be living there for a long time. So there's likely little touches of himself and personality all over the house. Those kinds of touches and memories likely mean a lot to the family, so getting rid of the mansion, even if it meant taking all the stuff with him, might not feel right by them. There's also a chance that they keep the house and use it for other purposes, including maybe using it as a foster home to continue X's charity work. There are many ways that this could go. It just really depends on what the family wants to do and how they decide to do it. But regardless, they have a house that they can comfortably live in and feel X's presence in. And of course, it's worth more than $1.4 million. Number 3 is jewelry. If we're being honest here, there's nothing that says, I'm a young rapper, more than the items known as ice. From rings to grills to necklaces and more, young rappers love to have their own personal bling on them to show off their style, their fortune, and most importantly, their cool factor. And yes, X had some ice. In fact, he was a rapper who believed in having a lot of it, which is actually a boon for the family. For example, X famously got himself a snake ring, one that was iced out rapper style, of course. The value of that just alone was $10,000. And to add to that, X had a grill that he wore that was encrusted with diamonds, which means it wasn't cheap to get. As if that wasn't enough, he had a Gucci brand watch, which is one of the most expensive brands of watch out there in the world right now. And that's just some of the things that we know that he's had. When you add it all up, there's possibly at least $100,000 worth of jewelry that he now has left to his family. But that doesn't mean they're gonna get the exact value back. Oh no, there's a chance they can actually sell them to get it even more. You see, when celebrities pass, there are people out there who want nothing more than to own the items that they had or wore, including jewelry, of course. If it's auctioned off the right way, they can actually make more money because of his name being attached to the items. Granted, it's impossible to know just how much they would or should get, but the notion is there nonetheless. So while it may have been bought for style points, what he leaves behind now is going to help his family and maybe others. Number 2 is cars.
It's not really an accomplishment unless I'm helping like 1,000 homeless kids, but I feel like I did something, yeah?
It's been noted by many that when X got his money, he made sure to go out and buy some really nice things for himself. He wanted to have a lavish lifestyle. He wanted to be living in the lap of luxury in every which way that mattered to him. To that end, he made sure he had some cars that were of very high value. For example, one of the first cars that X bought was his blue BMW i8 coupe car, a very stylish and sleek car that cost him about $140,000, which of course is more than the average American family makes in a year, and he spent that all alone on a car. Anyway, the BMW brand is very well known, which added to the cost, I'm sure, but the car was built for speed with a powerful engine that runs on a lithium battery and has 374 horsepower coming out of that motor. There's no doubt that he had a lot of fun driving this car, but that's not all. While a bit cheaper, he decided to spend $50,000 on a pair of Camaros, one red and one blue. Though cheaper, Camaros are one of the more reliable cars out there in the world today. They're comfortable, fast, and will get you to where you need to go. Now they're with his family, and it's very possible that the Camaros will go to the half-siblings as a gift, with the BMW likely being sold or kept in stores for one reason or another. Either way, they'll be of use to the family even though X is not driving them. Number 1. His belongings. There are many other things that X owns that have been given to his family, not the least of which was his clothing and other personal items that he either had on him or was in his mansion. This may not seem like the most important thing in the world, but to them, it just might be. Every single item he had is a memory of him, especially for his mother. The memories are all that she has now. So no matter how little or how much those belongings are worth, she's likely going to treasure them as she should. And so there you have it. A look at the rapper X and how he's left behind loads of items and money for his family to have in his absence. So what do you think is the biggest gift that the family now has that he's gone? Do you think that X's support will continue for a while to come? Or do you think that eventually it'll fade and that the royalty payments will dry up as a result? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time on King Trending. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.